Riding the subway in New York, it's kinda like being in a prison that's always on the move. But here, everyone's checked in by choice. You'll see faces from every corner of the globe, hear a babble of tongues, sniff out all sorts of aromas, and catch a vibe of desires as diverse as the city itself. It's said that over 5 million people ride the train here every day. Each person's got a long tale to tell, yet we're all just silently rolling along under the streets. Much like myself.
How did you get here, my friend?
Well, back in Moscow, I was kinda known, you know? My name is Ivan, a young artist with my own little spot. But here, in New York, I'm just another nobody, stuck washing dishes all day. Folks from back home, they tell me to cool it, wait till I get my work permit sorted. There are artists here who've been blending into the background for 15 years, still waiting for their big break.
Why don't you work a little longer? What are you doing in Manhattan at night?
Flushing, where I've pitched my tent, is a mess. Dirty, cluttered, loud. Looks straight out of a dumpster scene. But it's got this buzz, something you don't get back in Moscow. My place? It's so tiny. You'd think it's made for a bird, not a person. Sunlight doesn't even bother showing up till the afternoon. But when it does, that's when you see Manhattan's skyline, all golden and shining, like it's not even part of this world. You want to know why I ended up suffering here? Well, let me take you back about 6 months ago, the day after my 25th birthday. Russia decided to mess with Ukraine. And me, being the loudmouth I am, got picked up for speaking out against the war. Almost got shipped off to fight. My brother Andrei stepped up, asked them to release me, and volunteered to go to Ukraine. And he left me a voice message.
Don't sweat it, Ivan. Someone's got to be out there. You just keep doing your thing.
Man, that made me heated. But what could I do? After Andrei left, Mom just kinda lost it. She'd spend all day looking out the window, pacing the floor at night. She'd try to paint, then give up, over and over. That day, she suddenly looked up from her book and said to me very seriously,
"You gotta get out of Russia, Ivan.
"Why?"
This war's gonna drag on. I got a bad feeling."
"But where can I go?"
"Anywhere, my boy, as long as you keep painting."
After saying goodbye to my mom and grandma, my body and I hit the road, driving east. Leaving the usual way just wasn't an option for me, nor did I want to squeeze myself into the crowd fleeing to Europe. We plowed through the endless Siberian plains, driving straight towards the East Coast. No stopping. The long damn journey felt like it never ends. Finally, we hit the East Coast, forked over some cash, and hopped onto a shady smuggler's boat sailing out from the Arctic Sea. That little dinghy bobbed and weaved through the midnight waves, like it was about to get smacked by an iceberg any second.
Day by day, my story unfolds. The fighting's brutal. We're doing our best, but we're pulling back. Don't sweat it. Bro, bullets dodge me. Believe it? Nailed a drone with my rifle today. That sucker almost got a grenade on me.
I was seasick as hell, puking my guts out, freezing my ass off, with nothing but the stars above and the dark ocean around us. Finally, Alaska. We landed under the moonlight, shouting our lungs out, only to get nabbed by some American cops. The immigration officer didn't look too thrilled, but cracked a smile when he heard why we left Russia.
New York is nothing like Moscow. Good luck, kid.
So there I was, in New York, back to washing dishes. My buddy didn't want to come to New York with me. Can you believe it? He'd rather stay in Alaska. Okay, let's back to the New York subway like trash from the last century. Nothing compared to Moscow's metro. That loud noise makes me nod off. I pulled out pen and paper, trying to sketch folks in the train like I used to. That means a few bucks. That joker, a regular on this line. We know each other but not by name. Nudged closer again. Then I saw her, lost in a book. The train went silent, as if a spotlight hit my head. I started sketching her from afar. Damn, why's the train gotta speed up now? I finished the sketch in a flash, ready to hand it to her when the subway halted, and she stepped out. A crowd of pot-scented teens pushed me back inside. I dashed out of the subway, but she was gone. Great. In a city of over 8 million, how am I supposed to find her again? Headed to the studio and sulking, I got chewed out for being late. But surprise, she was the model for today. I gave pointers to the students while stealing glances at her under the spotlight. So gorgeous. This had to be fate.
Where you off to? You haven't cleaned up yet.
I didn't stick around to hear more complaints. Grabbed my stuff and bolted for the subway station, driven by instinct.
Why are you following me?
I turned beet red, feeling all awkward and shy right there on the bright streets of Manhattan.
So, you're the Russian who snuck in here?
She drops that line and walks off. I'm just standing there, dumbfounded. At the subway entrance, like the city itself slapped me across the face. Then it starts snowing again. I head inside the station, grab a coffee, and sit down, surrounded by the hustle and bustle. Today's been a total mess, and tomorrow's probably not looking any better. Spotting a public piano in the station, I go over and start playing some Rachmaninoff. Been ages since I last touched the keys.
Steve said you got arrested for opposing Putin?
Oh yes, excuse me. I was against the war.
I've been drawn a few times on the subway, but yours is the best.
And that's how we met. She's Jenny, born in this city, works at an art museum in Manhattan and models for art studios on the side. When she found out I live in Flushing, she told me about all the great Chinese food there. We just kept talking, like with the train rumbling in the background. And suddenly, it felt like the most beautiful music. Just like you might have guessed, that's how our story kicks off. New York suddenly seemed wide and vibrant before me, like a canvas just unfolding. We hit the studios together, caught operas, dove into books at the library, rocked out at Taylor Swift concerts, watched sunsets over Manhattan, rode the carousel in Central Park, explored countryside castles, watched fireworks at John's Beach, went to Flushing for all-night karaoke. Luck starts turning my way too. I get my work permit sorted and even land a gallery contract. I credit my good fortune to Jenny, but she insists it's all me. The day I quit the restaurant gig, the boss treats us to hot pot and slips me a wad of cash on the sly.
Take this, you got a good girl there. Make it happen with her.
I was experiencing some of the happiest days since arriving in New York, yet I still woke up from time to time in nightmares. Because I'm always worried about my brothers in the battlefield. Then Mom hits me with the news.
Ivan, Andre died in Kharkov.
Ivan, my dear brother, I can't come back. A drone exploded among us, and they're all gone. I'm bleeding out. No one's coming for us. This is Kharkov.
Don't worry about me, kid. You know I'm strong. I've been through days like this before. You're my only hope now. Go and do what you have to do.
My world crumbles into darkness. In those painful days, Jenny tries to keep me afloat, taking me to art shows, even signing me up for a painting competition. But I'm sinking, drinking myself into oblivion, feeling dragged down to hell. One night, in a Russian bar, I overhear someone praising that KGB fascist. In a fit of rage, I lash out, bottle in hand. Jenny finds me pinned down, talking the bar owner and the guys who jumped me out of calling the cops. Shame engulfs me in the dark. Andre wouldn't have wanted this. Neither would she. I can't just be a refugee, nor can I let this city consume me.
Once again with my shadows I roam. All along yesterday I was born. It's all I start, still alone with my shadows I
As if by magic, she reappears before me, smiling from afar. Slowly, I emerge from the shadows, starting to see why so many choose to stay in New York. No matter the struggle, laughter echoes in the streets, and tears are swiftly swallowed by the city's unyielding spirit. It challenges the weak, but offers ladders to the resilient. The art school boss gives me a raise, pouring his knowledge of painting into me. Like I said, New York's teeming with artists, hidden talents everywhere. This Georgian guy, who loathes Russia, treats me well. Love speeds up time, and before we know it, spring arrives. The outskirts of Moscow bloom, but Mom's hair is now fully gray. The war in Ukraine stagnates, its brutality escalating, with more young lives fed into its maw daily. The tragedy weighs heavily on me, a reminder of civilization's fragility against barbarism. One day, an old man steps into my studio, claiming to be an art collector, interested in my series on Russia.
From Surikov Art Academy?
Repin Academy. Excuse me, sir. What did you know about me?
That's a fine school. Heard you're a stowaway.
Yes, sir. I wasn't about to die for them.
Understandable. Look, Ivan, your work's powerful. I want to buy them. You'll like the price. But could you tweak the theme a bit?
Sorry, sir. I appreciate it, but I can't do that.
You get what I'm saying, right? Lots of folks still back Putin, and Americans won't pay for your stance.
He offers an envelope, probably a check inside. Sorry, I can't sell them to you. He pockets the envelope, seemingly scoffs at me, and leaves. I'm left fuming, throwing my brush to the floor. I've lost something, and the city doesn't care. A week later, Jenny took me home to meet her parents. I bought a new suit and got my wild hair trimmed. Jenny drove me to her home on Long Island. The setting sun lit her hair ablaze like fire. Her mom greeted us at the door with a smile as warm as the evening sun. Jenny's father would be back later, and our dinner started first. We talked a lot that night when she learned about my brother's death. On the battlefield in Ukraine, her mom played a soft piano piece. I sat there, tears streaming down. My mind is full of images of Andre and me as children. Quietly, Jenny took my hand. Jenny's father came back, and I was dumbfounded to see me, realizing he was the man who offered to buy my paintings that day.
Don't look so surprised, laddie. I've got to know what my daughter likes in a man.
So you lied to me?
That check is real. If you take it, it's the end of the road with my daughter.
But sir, I have nothing here.
55 years ago, my parents carried me on a ship at the age of 3. Took 3 months on the road. To get to the US, we nearly starved to death at sea. Ivan, you know why they decided to leave there?
I used to hear my father talk about that time there.
Sure, Ivan. You need to understand that we are all refugees in some way. We just got here half a century before you did.
Soon, I finally finished the group of canvases and titled them Indomitable Russia.
The third prize in this art competition goes to Gregory Romontov. Congratulations to him.
Hi, dear. I've just landed and on my way now.
It's pretty jammed from the airport here.
No worries. The subway will be much faster. Wait for me, Ivan.
First prize goes to Ivan Mordakovsky, a young Russian artist. Congratulations to him.
At that moment I was ecstatic, almost forgetting to go up on stage when my name was called. How I wish Jenny was by my side. She said it'd take only 20 minutes, but it had been over half an hour.
Ivan, I'm Jenny's father. Jenny was shot.
What? Shot?
She encountered a robbery in the subway. There was a shootout, a robbery, and a stray bullet hit her.
Oh my God, how is she? Is it serious?
Ivan, we've lost her.
Why? New York. Why did you do this to Jenny? And why to me?
I'm so sorry. I heard about Jenny.
I hate this city.
I understand, but don't be like that. Without this city, you two would have never met.
All alone, I've started my journey. To the darkness I go. With a reason, I stopped for a moment. In this world full of pleasure, so free. Town after town, on I travel. Pass through faces I know.
Yes, that's New York for you. It brings you despair, but also hope. It helps you achieve your dreams, then shatters them with its own hands. The sun still rises over Manhattan, and the subway continues to rumble underground. Countless newcomers are still pouring in, just as excited as I was when I first arrived. Jenny has become a part of this city, and so have I.